It is Thursday. Another day. My daughter is off to school, not sick anymore, which is cool. It's getting really warm again. I think that's really good. I'm really looking forward to have some spring now. It's been so damn cold, and yeah, stupid April is always like that, isn't it? Up and down, up and down. It's like the classic like slider shit to good weather, and the slider just moving like that throughout the entire of April. But that's what you get with April. Hey Orbi, Atsugi Kuru, and passenger 74 I see has joined. Fantastic. Right, so good morning, Kilrathi. Whoa, that's exciting. How's everyone doing? How about some topics? Let's see what you guys can come up with, guys and girls. And thank you everyone for hitting follow. I see that I got some more from yesterday. It's great. It does help with my end goal. AG Buffer. Good morning. So that's topic number 1, Frozen City. That's cool. Hey Nefas. I love your emojis. They're always interesting. Kuru's doing great. That's excellent. Captain Jetlag. Good morning, internet person. Kuru, insect armor. Ooh, topic number 2. Come on. Let's see, where's the dice? Dice is on number 2. Let's move that up, down to number 2. Okay, now it should work. Oh yeah, it works. Goblin spacecraft. That's pretty cool. Empress of Desire. Ooh, Sister of Mercy. Sofa Strangler. Yes. No. All right. I think we got some pretty good topics. Let's roll the dice and let's see what comes up. Number 4. Number 2. That is number 2. Oh yeah, insect armor by Kuru. Perfect. Insect armor by Kuru. Oh yeah. Now we're talking. Now we're cooking with gasoline. I love that saying. Cooking with gasoline. All right. Captain Jetlag. Everything is rigged. Nothing is for real. Just rigged, rigged, rigged. All right. Insect armor. Ah. Let's try this brush. Okay, so I was seeing one thing, but now I switched it up to another thing. So now I think I'll do a little bit more like ink style drawing. Let's see where that leads. I was thinking it's going to be like insect armor, but at the same time quite monster-like physique. So let's see where that leads. Timer is on. Lately I've been thinking a lot about inking, even though I haven't practiced it. But if you remember, I started doing, I think, 2 or 3 warm-ups with more like inking style approach, and I think it was a lot of it was bad brush. Like it was the wrong setup. It wasn't expressive enough like this brush. I think this brush is great for that inking feel. So I want to play around with the idea of insect armor in this style. I think one thing that you do get with the kind of ink, like, and have stuff lie in shadow, is that presentation ups, get up so much by default, just because you're presenting information in a dramatic way. And I think the only problem I see with for my approach to art doing this is that I wouldn't know really, because I haven't practiced it, how to start rendering, right? Because you have block shadow, and my approach is way more, kind of volumetric. So I gotta, if I want to start practicing this way, my rendering technique has to adopt. Thanks, Novi Art, for the host, by the way. Very much appreciated. Hey, Zelin. Good morning and welcome. So today's topic is courtesy of Kuru, insect armor. And I think it's going to end up just being some insect with exoskeleton. But I think that fulfills the brief as well. I think that's fine. Just a matter of finding something that looks interesting. I used to, for the longest time, not longest time, it sounds like years, but there was a period in my sketchbooks where I drew upside down. So I switched the paper like that, and I only drew drawings looking at him the wrong way around for majority of the drawing. For me, I really enjoyed it because it makes you stop thinking about symbolic ways, like what you think a head should look like, what you think feet should look like, etc. And it becomes way more abstract of what you're drawing. You don't really know what you're drawing, and you can play around with that a lot more. But I stopped that after a while. But it's fun though. It's a fun challenge to kind of try to do something. I feel like this guy has become very boring and very stiff. So let's try to change it up a bit. I think that leg was ruining it a bit. I think it gotta go back down at the front leg like that, and let's move that hand. Open the pose up a bit. Yeah, much better. Hey, good morning, Kuiba. You're back, and I love that funny emoji. Really cool. Insect armor. Zealin, I like the way you're thinking. 1000B armor. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool idea. I like that. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna, I can't change what I'm drawing. But if I would have time, that would be my redraw. 1000B armor. I think it would require more time than 30 minutes to do it justice, though. As it's a quite complicated thing to draw. So drinking some coffee, reading what you guys are writing. I think I'm always looking back at the clips, and I see myself just sitting and looking at the chat and reading. I wish there was this kind of option to have screen overlay. Like I can see the chat in Photoshop, so I can kind of glance at it and see what you're writing instead of having it, over there. I think I mean, probably could arrange it somehow, but hey, Sensenart, good morning. Welcome. Let's give it a bigger mouth, a roaring mouth. Kurum. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I could do that. I could do that. It's a valid idea. Hey, Morphia, good morning. Welcome. Glad to have you back. It's a pleasure as always. Atsuki, studies about insects have influenced my art. I mean, obviously it has, because I wouldn't know what I'm doing otherwise if I'm going to draw an insect. Um, that being said, I haven't really done studies of insects. I have taken mental notes of insects. I have looked at a lot of insects. I've captured a lot of insects as a kid. I've looked really close up and looking at what they look like and how their joints work and all these things. But I wouldn't say I've done a single study probably of an insect. Maybe an ant. Like uh, no 12-year-old sitting and drawing an ant maybe, but probably never really done a study of an insect. I don't think you don't need to do studies in that sense. You can easily just look at an insect. One way to store information is doing studies. So I mean that's a good way to get information in there, but that's not like the only way to learn something is to grind it, in a study. It's completely okay to just look at something as well, if that is the way you can store information. The biggest problem with doing studies and or just attaining information is how do you implement the information? Like in school, for example, not art related, but I would never really like looked at the books. I never did the things you had to do to learn. I was mostly just sitting and listening to the teacher, what the teacher was saying, and storing the information that way, much like I'm listening to lectures while painting. I listen to the information and store or try to store that information. Um, so obviously, if you ever become a teacher, you'll quickly figure out that not everyone learns the same way. Um, and you know, studies are good for one thing. Action rigged, yeah. Kuro and Sersen, yeah, exactly. I mean, looking at references is a great way. Um, you take the information in an abstract way, like on a reference board or mood board, and you try to extract that and implement it in your own design, and that way you store information about how the materials behave or how the limbs are uh, attached and so on. But you don't like you don't literally do insect study, right? You're just having it as a bouncing, like a, well, what's it called? Um, Something you kind of key off of. Thank you very much for the host, Rogue 13 Polycount. I want to know the history about Rogue 13 Polycount. Why is he called, or she called, Rogue 13 Polycount? Is that Polycount forum, I think? Or maybe it's something else. I would like to know. Let's see, where's that? Like that. Like that. So we're a little bit less than halfway through. I think I'm in a pretty good state here. Let's up the silhouette a little bit. Let's make it grander. Some bigger shapes. Play with those. What I'd love to see, which I really haven't seen in any designs, it's like wings that are too big. Probably there is. I just can't remember, but too big wings that kind of drag behind like a cape. You know, like really thick, like heavy duty leather wings that are just kind of being dragged along like knuckle style. You know, like a gorilla. I think that would be really cool to see. I haven't really seen that from the top of my head, because for me always the wings never touch the ground. You know, in a lot of designs, a lot of it they're like almost like butterfly wings. You know, they have to be so careful with them rather than just kind of dragging them. Like for me, if I would design a dragon now with this idea, I think I would definitely design it so it's just kind of doesn't give a shit about its wings because they're so sturdy. Because it's a dragon and the energy has to be like spent on always keeping the wings up. And it would be a cool design to just have it like dragon. Kuro, go ahead. Team H Lava, thanks for the host. Oh, I'm spitting. Pfft. So excited. So excited that TMH Lava was hosting. I was spitting. Spitting at the screen. Complete and utter madness. I've lost it, people. Call for an ambulance. Ambulance. I've completely lost it. I'm spitting at my monitor from excitement. No, I love design. I love designing dragons. I've done it for a couple of clients. Um, there's a lot of people doing dragons, but I always try to like come up with a cool twist to dragons. I don't want to do a traditional dragon often. You know, I really want to give it a twist, right? That's always my thing, right? I want to come up with a cool idea for it, and I think there's so many people that just approaches dragons as a technical exercise of how well they can make a dragon. But I've always wanted I like the idea of changing it up a bit. You know, how can you make a dragon unique? Why does a dragon need to tick certain boxes? Hey, EOP, welcome. Glad that you could make it, even though you're late. It's all good. I don't know if it's that much insect armor anymore, but you could definitely see like the scarab, what's it called? Scarab piss? Is that what it's called? The exoskeleton? I don't know what it's called. 12 minutes or 13 minutes left. I think we're definitely going to have time to put some color on this, some wash. Kuro, yeah. Carapace. Yeah, exactly. #1 talent. Something called something like that. Is it the outer shell, right, of a beetle, etc. It's a carapace. I do not know how to pronounce it. I need to look at like the phonetics. I like this brush. This is a brush I picked up from someone, but it definitely has this like traditional feel to it. It's a pretty weird brush, you see? If you just click it once, it has this kind of, I don't know, it's cool. Makes things dirty, which in this instance is really helping to sell the idea of ink brush type thing. And for whoever want to grab this brush, I've shared it in useful links on the Discord. It's if you scroll up to the top in useful links, it should be posted there. My brush is free to download. Carapace. All right. Hey, Seaglass, Master 777, Oz, Coldberger Art, thanks for the host. Fantastic. Hey, Loveloach, Loach. Welcome, and thank you. Nice of you to join. You are new. I have not seen your nickname before. So we got around 10 minutes left. I'm starting to struggle to find places to add details. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do now, while I have time, is to, I think, do a block in. I don't dig how those wings look like back there. I think they gotta be kind of flatter, like that maybe. And I'm gonna do a block in, and then out of that, from that, yeah, we'll see. Gonna go in focus mode. Classic focus mode where I go silent. I'm really gonna try not to. So let's see how that goes. George, all right. We'll see. I don't have time to experiment with that now, how it changes the brush. I kind of set on this behavior at the moment, but I'll definitely experiment with it offline. Is it opacity or flow that I should change then? George. George. I was looking the other day at Mike Mignola. That's his name, right? Art. And I mean, I'm not huge in comics anymore, into comics. I don't look at them anymore. But I love the way he has these heavy blocks of light and have gradients in the coloring, like very, very simple, striking, simple gradient. For me, that looked really, really cool, and that's something that like I quickly looked at and was really inspired by like a couple of weeks ago. I really liked that look. It was really nice. So what's that called? Is that 31? So what I saw was like they had just taken that and then maybe more saturation and darker, and then just had like something like that, very simple but very like it had so much impact. I really liked the way that looked. Obviously now I'm just kind of winging it and uh, seeing what happens. But I thought that was a really cool little thing I picked up from him. Does he use inkers, or does he do that himself? Like people coloring his work. I'm assuming he has people coloring his ink, and he just does the inking, and someone else takes over and colors it. I assume that is how it is. Does anyone know? I think that was really, really like very nice that how he solves these things. It's was very inspiring. I would really want to explore that style more. I think it definitely is something that speaks to me as I used to do a lot of comic stuff when concept art wasn't a thing back in the days. I also like fiddled with graffiti and things like that, and inking and graffiti is very similar. It's like very direct, and I really enjoyed that as well, experimenting with that on like legal walls, etc. Um, it was really, I think it's a fun thing to do, fun thing to experiment with actually, um, as an outlet. Let's see what this does. That's pretty cool.
All right.
Okay. Whoa. Hello. Ja, labdien. Ne, paldies. Ciao. I hate the phone company. They're always calling me like, hey, do you wanna? No, I don't wanna. Hey, do you wanna? No, I don't wanna. They should figure out that not for me. Hey, Chinese person with lots of Chinese letters. Thanks for following. So I got some time left. I'll just kind of slow down a little bit maybe and add some finer details. Some fine motor skill things. But I'm digging the idea. I like this kind of inking style. It's fun to experiment with. Um, and thanks for the topic, Cor. And I think I'll add a little thing I was experimenting with the other day. You on Discord, people on Discord, you've seen like this kind of comic style cartoon cyberpunk drawings. I've shared them twice, I think, or 3 times. I want to just experiment a little bit with presentation on this one to see um, to see what that does. Um, it's like a stupid little thing for just for presentation's sake. I figured out on those cyberpunk ones. I just need to put a finger in there. All right, this is as far as I'm gonna take this one. Well, I'm not gonna have time to do anything else. Time's running out, so I'll just do that quick little thing. I kind of liked the way this thing was acting. This is obviously, you know, the classic chromatic aberration. I think, yeah, very little distortion. But what it does is, it's like, let's increase that and take it for lighter color. Yeah, just a little bit like of, if you zoom in, is obviously chromatic aberration is a very trendy thing to do. But what I found it does is it gives it this kind of comic book feel, which is kind of cool. So thanks everyone for coming. Time is running out, like tick tock, like literally now. Time is up. So I'm not gonna have time to do anything more on this one. Thanks everyone for coming. Today was a fun day doing some inking insect armor. Thanks, Kuru. Have a fantastic day. Good night. I know some of you are going to bed. Some of you are just starting your day. Some of you are in the middle of it. Thanks very much. Yeah, thanks for coming. And see you tomorrow morning. Adios. Ayaken. Hej då. Bye.